Hey guys, my name is Caleb and I'm a 9th grade homeschool student. I used to go to public school up until my 8th grade year, but that's not important now. Without further ado, let's get into my icebreaker speech. In my family, we all share information and we always talk about what happened throughout our day, even if it is at the dinner table. Now, we used to always meet up with our grandma on Saturdays and we'd all play tennis together. Well, once we were finished with that, we all go eat lunch and we'd explain what happened throughout the week and what we're going to do throughout the day. Now, we don't do that anymore, but we still always share information. And that, to me, is very important. Otherwise, you're not really a functional family. Now, I'd like to talk about hobbies. Hobbies are very important. You know why? Because they give you something to do to pass the time. For me, my favorite hobby is acting. This is because when I read a book, I always picture those characters and I watch them doing things. And then I get bored of that. And when I'm acting, I find a book that I like. And it's basically like taking those characters and making me in their shoes instead. So instead of watching them do something, I'm actually doing it. And that is what interests me about acting. Now, as you might have guessed, another hobby of mine is reading. I enjoy reading because it allows me to further my education through books. Now, most people think, you can't further your education, you need a teacher for that. Well, I say, to heck with that, read a book. You know, that you can learn so much just from reading a book. Now I'm derailing here. Let's talk about my other hobbies. And one other hobby I have is guitar. Guitar is fun because it just allows you to explore a different version of the world. Now, most people say that music is just something that you listen to it when you're bored or when you're going on long car trips. Well, I say the heck with that too, because music can be done whenever you want. And in fact, most people say you're a true musician if you play at the most random times. Now that I have explained my hobbies, let's talk about where I live. I live in Florida in the United States of America. Most people know that Florida is famous for sunshine and beaches, but it's not all sunshine and rainbows and happiness. Florida is pretty bad when it comes to hurricane season. Now, they're not terrible, but they're pretty bad. They're almost as bad as California with earthquakes. Now, Florida is really good. Florida may get hurricanes all the time. It may get washed out a lot. It may get floods. But you know what? We're also the hometown of some very famous people and bands like Limp Bizkit and Leonard Skinner and Shinedown. Now, if you don't know who those are, I'll put the link in the description below and you can find out all about them. Now, with that in mind, let me tell you about a very special story. My debut play at Theater Jacksonville was To Kill a Mockingbird. And what I found very special about this was that when I auditioned, I felt so bad. I was like, oh my God, I didn't get this part. I knew who got the other parts, for sure. There was no doubt. I knew it. But when it came to me, I was like, I couldn't have gotten this part. It's impossible. But you know what? When we were eating lunch that same day, we got a phone call back, not 30 minutes after the rehearsal, or the audition, I mean, saying, we'd like to give you the part. I went, oh my God, I actually got this part. I was bouncing up and down, up against the wall, everywhere, because I was excited. This was my first play. And I had seen Steel Magnolias. They did that for the previous show, and all over Facebook and all over the place, they had pictures of characters in their costumes. And that was what got me excited, because I started thinking, that's going to get me out there. I'm going to earn money for this. I'm going to be out there and people are going to want to hire me. And so I got really excited. And you know what? We've had 1 week of rehearsal already. We've had 1 week of doing the plays already, and it's going pretty well. People are saying we're doing awesome. In fact, while I was doing another rehearsal for another thing, my sister got recognized because she plays Scout, Jem's sister. I play Jem. And she got recognized on the street, just random street. Somebody walked up to her and said, "Hey, you did a really good job." Isn't that awesome? That's the kind of recognition I want. Now, to conclude it all, I'd like to say that I'm very appreciative that you guys stuck with me this whole time. I know it must have been very boring. And I'm so grateful that you guys stuck with me the entire time. Now, to summarize it all, my family is very good. We always communicate. We always share information. I'm a homeschooled student in the 9th grade. I'm starting to notice that Florida is a great place to get started. You don't need to be in big cities like Los Angeles or Hollywood. You don't need to be in places like that to get started in your career. You could be right here, right in your hometown. I'm starting to notice that I'm just really grateful for where I am right now. If I hadn't been homeschooled, I don't know where I would be now. I also like to thank Ron Paul for getting together people like Gary North and Bradley Fish for teaching us how to do this speech. I know I may be really bad, but Bradley Fish is there to help me along the way. With that in mind, I'd also like to say I am in one of the best states in the United States of America. Thank you for watching my speech, and I hope you have a great rest of the day. Bye!